Hey, noble ones, welcome to Metatron's Academy. So I was browsing through Xiaoma New York City channel, so Xiaoma 在纽约, and there are a few videos that I reacted to a couple of videos, the one about Neapolitan, the one about Sicilian, but then I found this. I pretended to be Chinese on a blindfolded game show. It worked. I'm surprised. I mean, 7.2 million views. Holy moly. I want to check it out. Now, here's the thing. Xiaoma's Chinese is really good. Okay, I'm not one of those people that like hate, because I get it. Yeah, he has all the clickbait titles. White guy surprises everyone. I get it, how some people not like him, and that's fine. But for me, I'm a little kind of neutral to that. I don't particularly get him desensitized, but he does speak fluent Mandarin. His Chinese is really good. Is it native-like? In my opinion, no. Usually you can tell that he's not Chinese. I mean, if he sees this, he's going to hate me for saying it. But hey, it is what it is. I'm just saying what I think. But here he says it worked. So I wonder if he constructed or practiced a certain set of sentences so much that he actually said them 100% like a Chinese. This is fascinating. So I need to check it out. Let's see. All right, let's go.
So I recently went to LA. I was on this game show with this YouTube channel called Jubilee. They get everybody blindfolded. And so the game show that I was on, and they just posted this video, is called 6 Asians versus 1 secret white guy. And I bet you'll never guess who the secret white guy was. I gotta say, guys, let's click into this. This is my first time watching it. I'm so nervous right now. Being on this game show was genuinely one of the most nerve-wracking.
Ooh, look at all that blue light. Man, that's nice. I like how that... I need to start putting more blue lights in here, maybe. I mean, I went for purple, so I guess.
Experiences of my entire life. Everybody's blindfolded, and there's one mole in the group, and everybody has to kind of talk and figure out who the secret outsider is.
Sounds
so my
fun.
goal was to convince everybody that I was Chinese. And so let's take a look and see how.
I wonder if he prepared, like, because I mean, to do that, it's not just a matter of like linguistic fluency. I mean, if you don't have to speak for too long, then it's possible that you could get to that. But there's also a matter of what you say. So like constructing a believable persona. It's actually interesting. This is fun.
This is gonna go.
I'm Asian.
I'm Asian.
I'm Asian.
I'm Asian.
I'm Asian.
I'm Asian.
And I'm white.
Oh my gosh, the way he said it, the face.
Oh, this is so cringy. Okay, wait.
I agree.
I can't do this. Will they find them all? I don't know.
I'm Leanne. I'm fully Chinese and I was born and raised in Hong Kong. A little fun fact about me in Cantonese is which is I did Chinese dance for 13 years.
Hi, my name is Caleb. I'm Korean. 저는 한국 사람입니다.
Okay, so basically what they do is they speak a little English, but so they also use English. Well, that's good for him, because that way he doesn't have to speak Chinese the entire time, which would have made it astronomically more difficult.
AKA I'm Korean.
Fun fact.
That was the fun fact.
that
I'm Korean.
His fun fact was that he was Korean.
Kumusta ka? Ako si Cami. My name is Cami. I broke my 4th finger at Chuck's.
I am so nervous in this moment.
Hi everybody, my name is Kevin.
I just felt like Kevin was a very stereotypical Asian American name. Don't hate me, but and by the way,
I mean, why would anyone hate you for that? If you're telling something that it's a fact and they hate you for it, it's on them.
for this video, I had to come up with a convincing backstory, a whole character,
Right.
because I was worried there was going to be a question like, what do your parents do for work? Or like, when did your ancestors come to America? Or like something like that. And I would be
Right.
put on the spot. Like I wrote a whole story of who Kevin was,
That's pretty cool.
of his parents, like his life story that I had to memorize for this video to try to be a convincing mole.
I am Chinese American, and 关于我自己一个小 fun fact 呢，就是我是一个很不喜欢吃香菜的一个人。I only started learning Chinese in the summer after high school, and I spent the year in China and had just an amazing, amazing time. And the more that I learned, the more that I wanted to learn.
It is impressive, though, that he reached to that level of Chinese, only spending 1 year in China. But then again, he's married to a Chinese, so I'm sure that helps. New York has a massive Chinatown. Every time my wife and I go to New York, we do like spending some time in Chinatown. Once we even chose specifically a hotel in Chinatown because I wanted to practice Mandarin. So you do have a lot of opportunities due to the fact that New York is rather cosmopolitan to use your Chinese over there, even if you don't live in China. So there is, or Taiwan for that matter.
and so I ended up getting really good at it. I really don't like eating cilantro, which is the
Same.
worst for if you're Chinese. Like, I mean, everything has got cilantro in it.
He's probably repeating something that he heard a Chinese person say, so that actually makes it authentic sounding. Very good idea.
Seems kind of suspicious, just the way he kind of sounds. Bro sounded white.
What? What? Do I sound white? There also, by the way, was something.
I mean, it's normal to have a bit. I have a little bit of an accent as well. When I speak English, you can tell I'm not a native speaker, and I picked it up in my late teens. Yeah, you can be fluent and you can sound good, but most importantly, you can sound really good. Like, you could sound very Chinese to yourself because you're not a native speaker. But when I speak Chinese, I think I pronounce it pretty decently. If it's put, my say Mandarin pronunciation or Japanese pronunciation or English pronunciation is put to the test of an actual native speaker, that's when they're gonna be able to deconstruct it and perhaps even perceive things that you're not even able to notice. Like, an instance, in Mandarin, I think it's quite difficult to do the G's exactly like they do ing, the in with a slightly less nasalized pronunciation, the D's as well.
That did not make it into the video. Somebody asked, "What are you wearing?" My answer, like, everybody was like, "Oh, I'm wearing, this fancy outfit."
Another one is the J. The J is really where you can tell his accent.
And listed the style, whatever the brands. Like, I'm not really like a very fashionable person. I was just like, oh, I'm wearing a polo and jeans. And then backstage after we shot the video, Caleb was like, "Dude, that was like the whitest thing you could ever say." He was like, when I heard
White, though, is such an umbrella term. If you use it, even if you use it the way Americans use it, which is his way, he only means a white American, meaning of European descent, I guess. Even then, it's such an umbrella term that, I don't know, if Caleb said, "Oh, that's what white people say," well, it depends. Because, I mean, white people from where? Because already if you have a white guy from Texas, a white guy from California, a white guy from New York, and a white guy from freaking North Dakota, I will absolutely assure you there will be significant differences in both the way they style, they dress, they talk, they speak, they choose to say. So that already. But if you extend the expression white as to encompassing the way we use it in Europe, so meaning white Europeans, so it could be people of Germanic descent, Germans, Nordic people, but also Europeans in Southern Europe can be considered white depending on how you approach this. Bro, what you said sounded so white absolutely makes zero sense whatsoever. At that point, it doesn't make any sense.
heard you say that, I was like, "There's no way you're Asian. Like, no way."
Oh, I'm Chinese American.
Hi, I'm Anusha. I'm South Asian. I'm from India. A fun fact about me. Nanijot kaltidde
I like her accent.
chikwesali vaisakta matoi.
I have a question for everyone. What is the first thing you do when you enter someone's household?
Take off your
Easy.
Period.
Too easy.
Green flag.
Some people don't take off their shoes in my household, and I'm like,
Respectful.
I don't know how, it's just disgusting.
That's a little rough.
oh, also, do you guys
I actually do think it's disgusting.
That is a little rough, though. I don't know. I mean, Chinese people, though, are very blunt. A Japanese wouldn't call it disgusting. But Chinese people tend to be more on the bold side. Would a Chinese person say disgusting? If you're Chinese watching this, let me know. It sounds a little much.
Disgusting to wear shoes in your house. I don't get, like, why that's a thing.
like, do you guys?
Oh yeah.
Do you guys?
Yeah.
Oh,
PJs.
yeah.
Home clothes.
Yeah.
Do you
Like-
not
Also, coming from a culture like in Italy, usually people don't take off their shoes in the house. So coming from a culture that does have that, there is a solution to it, and it's cleaning the floor every single day, which is usually what Italian mums and grandmas do, so that your floor is nice and clean, even though people tend to keep their shoes on. Not everyone does it. Some people do take their shoes on, but it is very common to, and particularly when you enter someone else's house, usually you don't take off your shoes. Once again, there are exceptions. It's easy. You just clean the floor. Also, I think it would be harder to manage in a country where you use carpet, like in England or in America, because, yeah, you walk with shoes. You've been outside, you walk with shoes on the carpet, that could be annoying. But in Italy, we oftentimes have tiles. So those usually very easy to clean, and they don't like, and nothing soaks in them. So it's a difference. It has to do, responding to Xiaoma, it has to do also with how the house is structured and the sort of floor that you use. If people have actual flooring, I think would they ask you to take off your shoes?
Change into like
You don't-
home
Like
clothes?
my mom would always
Yeah, like
make us
comfy
wash
clothes.
clothes. when we
I need
got
you to
out.
shower before you.
Wait, what is the P word that any Asian kid wants to hear from their parents?
Cocky.
I'm proud of you.
Come on.
Nah.
The math. Oh my god, you were real one.
SAT
You
prep.
were
Chinese
real
school, though.
SAT prep? Oh, your Chinese school?
Did you guys go to Chinese
Chinese-
school?
I went to Chinese
Yeah,
school.
every Saturday.
As a Filipina, obviously I sing.
You guys go to Chinese school? I think he's doing a good job though.
You tinikling too?
Huh?
Tinikling. You don't know
Uh-oh.
Hindi ko ba alam. Ano,
the
ano yan? What is that?
Editing.
Oh yes, with the sticks and you
Red
like.
flag.
No,
That's the mole right
no,
there.
guys.
The Asians will now vote.
By the way, everybody's voting for who they think is white now. I closed my eyes during this whole session, so I actually haven't seen their votes. So let's keep.
Ryan. Shout out Alhambra, but that's all I heard.
Yeah, Caleb.
Caleb!
Caleb.
Oh, he's getting me.
Caleb is locked on.
A tie.
Oh, word.
And the tie is
Remember, I haven't seen who people voted for yet.
between Ryan and Caleb.
Wow, they think Caleb is not Asian. Ooh.
Oh, damn.
Oh, his face. This is fun.
No! I could have sworn at that moment. I was like, the tie is going to be me and somebody else.
Yeah.
But I was spared. I made it.
Very
I made
nice.
it. Holy shit.
So
Well, of course, if they were all Mandarin native speakers of Chinese, this would have been a lot harder. But I mean, Korean. She's from Hong Kong, so maybe she does speak Mandarin as well. Kind of depends. But a lot like Southeast Asia or I mean India, they wouldn't be able to tell if there are inconsistencies in his Mandarin pronunciation. So that definitely, just because they're Asian, it doesn't magically make it so that they can notice that. So there is that. That really made it easier. Now
going
I
back to
understand it.
So I'm Chinese. So 한국 사람입니다.
나는 여기
Oh, one is Chinese. You're right. Sorry, one is Chinese.
So nervous.
한국에서 공부했고 이렇게 여기 태어났어요. 미국에서
I'm
태어났어요.
so nervous.
한국말 진짜로 지금 못하거든요. But 한국말은 할 수 있어요.
Okay, don't walk, Ryan. We'll get you.
嘿，大家好，我是小马，记得要点赞这个视
我是小马。
频，还有要订阅 Jubilee。Now let's get back to the video.
You know, I feel like Asian YouTube was a huge thing for the Asian community.
Right.
You know, different place. Oh yeah, who y'all watch?
Am I considered Asian YouTube? I was like very tempted in this moment. Just,
I don't think so, mate. I mean, with all due respect.
yo, you guys ever seen that white guy on YouTube who speaks really good Chinese?
Yeah, of course, that's you.
I thought
Ooh, could you imagine if they said that? Yeah, actually, I'm surprised that they didn't recognize his voice. Because that would be a big problem when you're a YouTuber who is very, very popular. Because if they recognize the sound of your voice, you know, when he said, because I know he likes a lot the expression 就是, and he uses it a lot. It's kind of a staple of his. So already he used it here. He was like, 我是, 就是. People could have recognized that. I'm glad for him that it didn't happen, but it was risky.
better of it though. No.
Guava juice, my fellow
guava juice?
Pinoy.
Okay.
And you remember Fung Brothers?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you remember Michelle Phan?
Yeah.
Makeup.
Community channel.
Community?
I was
Jubilee.
Oh yeah, Jubilee.
Okay, guys, I want to know what is your favorite part of your culture?
Oh, the food.
So much.
I want to say food too.
Indian food slaps.
Indian food slaps. I mean, I agree with her.
Missing it so much.
I think food is a kind of obvious answer, but I think really just like, you know, being proud of what China has been able to build and become on the world stage. Every time I go to China with my family, it's
Ooh, he's going with a fun. Oh.
just beautiful, like to see the cities and how everything's developed.
My personal favorite.
No. Dude, why did I say that? Okay.
Yeah, it sounds pre-written. It does sound pre-written.
I made a mistake there. Afterwards, everybody in the cast room was telling me, like, dude, that answer was like not what an Asian American would have said. Like, it just, like, you should have said food. That answer was what a young person who grew up in mainland China and like
Yeah.
went to school there and everything
Makes sense.
would have said. But it's not what an Asian American would have said.
Very interesting, actually, socio-politically. This is interesting from a social linguistic standpoint.
Honestly, the people, they have instilled hospitality. I mean, every Filipina is a nurse.
I gotta be honest,
Every
I'm not a
Filipina-
nurse. I'm sorry, Papa.
I was gonna say I like Hong Kong because of how international it is.
Did you
I'd
go?
love to visit Hong Kong.
Go to international school in Hong Kong?
No, I went to a fully local school.
You sound really American.
I mean,
I just felt like the other Chinese contestants were the most likely to call me out on my bullshit, like especially language-wise. Maybe best to try to get Leanne off.
It's something that I get on a day-to-day basis. My friends tell me I sound American. My white friends tell me that I sound whiter than them, and I'm like,
Do you have a least favorite thing about your
Oh, I mean, I grew up in the Korean church. A lot of gossip happens over there, so there's always a little thing about like the Korean church and stuff.
Piggybacking off of what they had mentioned, we call it mga chismes. They're just gossips. Like they speak.
It was a good move to try and call out the girl, by the way, for having no accent and she speaks English.
Behind your back, and a lot of times it will be to family members. So I think while we do have a great heart, sometimes we're not as kind to each other.
My least favorite thing, I think, is colorism sometimes. And the beauty standard is, you know, a lighter complexion is more beautiful, more gorgeous, but I love the skin that I'm in.
I don't know if like in Korean or Filipino culture it's the same, but like in Chinese culture, people can be super direct about your personal appearance. Oh, 你胖了, like you're fat now, all of a sudden.
I got fat shamed by my
where'd
mom
you get all...
In my videos, you can see this happen to me a lot of times. Like
it happens to him. It's true. Yeah, Chinese do that. They don't say it they're not trying to be mean. It's just how they are. It's a cultural thing.
I'll go into a store that I haven't been to in a while, and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, Xiaoma, like you've gotten so fat." So I'm very familiar with that.
I don't want to get cancelled for saying this. A lot of it is still like patriarchal, and it's so normalized. Like, you know, you see someone walking by, it's so okay to like fat shame them or like say, "Oh, they're so dark. Why are they here?" Like that.
Patriarchal though? Is it patriarchal? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not here. This channel is not about that. It's just about languages. I was just trying to understand that point.
Happens a lot.
Okay, let's see if I can survive round 2 voting.
I'm gonna go back to it. I think Kevin just sounds more white.
2 people voted for me?
Ooh.
Shit.
Caleb.
Whoa, everybody's voting for Caleb, baby! Yes!
Yeah, if Caleb goes
From
out,
the very beginning, I was
it's
like,
good for him.
I gotta get him out. He has to leave.
He has to leave. My gosh.
Why?
Damn, I really wanted the money.
Oh,
Gas is
there's
expensive.
money involved. I didn't know that.
I live in California.
So please raise your hand if you want to continue playing the game.
Oh, why not?
I'm obviously like, no, let's not continue playing the game.
Oh, I see.
Because I don't want to get voted off the next round.
So at this point, I'm the only guy in a group of girls. So I felt like I was in the hot seat, and then I was thinking maybe the only other person who people could be suspicious of was Leanne.
Yeah.
Leanne, do you speak Mandarin?
I do speak Mandarin. 我会讲一点点。
哦，你也会讲。
会讲一点。
Yeah, 我也会讲。
哇，1、2、3、
听起来有点地道，好像
6、7、8、9、10。
地道的样子。
Oh, 地道.
Yeah,
no, I'm
地道.
not 地道 at all because I learned Mandarin.
That's good for him. Yeah, I thought so because in Hong Kong, I think quite a few people study Mandarin, but there is a significant difference between Cantonese and Mandarin. He's lucky though because she could have been minority, I imagine. She could have been someone who was brought up in a household where maybe one of the parents spoke Mandarin or both parents spoke Mandarin, and then, you know, they could have been bilingual. But I think by then they would have already attacked him. So that's what I expected. Like Hong Kong probably doesn't speak Mandarin natively, so his Mandarin is fluent, and therefore she can't recognize
And at school, it was like a prerequisite. So my mother tongue is Cantonese.
I speak multiple languages. That's a part of
The
growing
thing
up in
is,
South
like,
India.
you can always learn a language.
Yeah,
Yes,
I feel
you
like
can
Chinese
always
has
learn.
a lot
That
of,
is
you know, demand.
Yep.
Chinese is a language that a lot of people want to learn or is in demand. So I kind of had an idea that it would be someone that spoke Chinese. That would be the...
Yep. I mean, sure. Interesting.
Anusha got me.
Detective.
I should have come in being like, yeah, I'm actually indigenous Australian.
Maybe it's Kevin.
At one point, I was actually suspicious
I don't know, man. Can you put on an accent that makes sense from that point of view?
of Cami. I don't think she was that fluent in her own language, which
Come
I
on.
understand. It's like you don't have to be fluent in your like native language. So who do we think is the hottest Asian, Asian race?
Hottest Asian race?
I would say
Man,
Chinese.
that is such a strange.
I'm married to a Chinese woman. I had to say Chinese.
Of
But
course.
you know, when I ever see Bollywood movies and like the Indian actors in those, I mean, they're very good looking, men and women. Yeah.
Can I give a shout
Amazing.
out to Dave?
Dave Patel. Shout out.
But I also started watching K-dramas.
I was gonna say Korean
K-pop.
men are so attractive.
Filipinos.
A
Yeah.
little bit on the non-masculine side of things, I guess. Usually the Korean pop, because they usually refer to the pop singers and whatnot.
Technically
Chinese, yeah.
speaking, Miss Universe, we have 4 winners from the Philippines, and I hope to be Miss Universe.
Ha, were they voting? Were they voting?
Leon, come on.
Come on.
Kevin, no!
Uh-oh.
For Kevin!
Oh, he's out.
No!
Kevin, you're so Chinese and I can feel it.
I can feel it.
At least I got through 2 rounds.
Yeah, pretty
of
good.
Pretending to be Chinese, so that was cool. I'm gonna skip a little bit.
Pretty nice. Okay, so I enjoyed the video anyways. It was interesting. Definitely, I now understand how it could even make sense. They weren't all Chinese. So if they were, or if they were all maybe bilingual even, then it would have been a lot harder. At that point, I wonder how it would have gone. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, thank you very much for watching and for joining Metatron's Academy. Bye.